Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I think I'm going to play again with those stamps I just made, those foam stamps. It was an idea that I had to do, and it's based off of something I did a long time ago, where I took masking tape and stamped a bunch of stuff on there using just some grungy archival stuff to make like some strips and stuff like that. But I thought I would make something a little bit more fun and whimsical, so I did play with it. This is the first one I made, and I did use my distress inks, and I noticed that they were taking quite a while to dry. I think they're pretty dry now. But I think this next one I'm going to try my archival inks on to see how that works. The letters and numbers that are on here, the few that I put on there, I did use the VersaFine Clair Morning Mist just to give that to it, and a little bit of like words in the background and some speckles just to add a little bit to it. I did spray it with a couple of the Distress Spritzes, my new favorite, Antique Linen. Probably hard to tell, but there's definitely a shimmer to it. I love it. And then a little bit of Villainous Potion and a little bit of peeled paint. Hard to tell. I just did little sprinkles on there, some dots, just to add a little bit of texture to it. But like I said, I wanted to let this dry, and I think it's pretty close to being dry, but I'm going to put it to the side for now. So this is, again, masking tape. I used the release sheets that I had for sticker sheets that I used for mailing. All right, so I have glued down or taped down one of those sheets too, and I've got several layers of masking tape, and I have 3 different ones I just found around the house. I found one that's about 2 inches, found one that's about 1.5 inches, and then one that is about 1 inch. This one's a lot darker. I think it's a different industrial grade or something, and this is regular and all-purpose. But I'm just going to throw one more strip up here. I wasn't going to add it, but when I started the video, I noticed, whoops, that there's a glare up there. So I'm just going to add it to it, trying to keep it straight. And it is a little bit over the release tape, but that's okay. All right, so for this one, I decided to go over just to hold it down so it doesn't shift during filming. This one, you can see I did not go over. I made them shorter. And it was kind of cool that the when it got stamped, the ink kind of also got absorbed into the edge of the tape. And another thought I had to do this, and I might do it next time I do them, is to take these tapes and rip them down the center and then put them down so that there's one more little edge that can absorb some paint or ink. So just another thought for it. Always thinking, yeah, you never know what's going to come up with. Okay, so again, I'm going to use archivals. Let's get the masking tape out of the way. I've got these 2 sets, and then I've got this set. And I'm going to use, like I said, my stamps. Now, they're probably going to stain more because I said it before when I was making these. The archival is a little bit stronger, so it sticks in there. But that is okay. All right, so I think we're going to start with, I think these are going to be more fall colors, maybe. Let me start with a little bit of orange and see how they go from there. We'll get a little piece of, that's okay. There we go. I hope your day is going well. I'm having a lovely day looking at my poor sad tree that was in my cul-de-sac, but it's still in my cul-de-sac. Not very dark. But it's like lost all of its leaves like in one day. It was so pretty a couple days ago, but all it takes is one windstorm for it to blow away. I see one of my faults to my errors, and I might have to pull this up, is I can't really go off of it too much, so I'm going to go on my mat if I do, and I don't want to do that. So I think I'm going to, whoops, pull this up and put paper underneath it. All right, so I'm just going to Like I said, just use these colors and stamp away. I did cut, and I'm going to see where it is. I did cut another, create another stamp. I'll have to track that down, show you what that ended up looking like if you saw the other video. Oh yeah, that's working out much better. And I do like on these to stamp a couple times because you get layers of shades of colors with it, and not necessarily always the same singular color. Okay. There it is. I created the leaf pattern here. So since I have a leaf, I'll make a little bit of green here. Let's do a little crushed olive. That could be fun. And what's nice about these stamps that I made is they're definitely a lot bigger. And so they take up a lot of visual space. Ooh, that's pretty. I really like that color. Crushed olive. And what's interesting about this, since the masking tape is not quite white either, it really gives a, I think probably even a different shade of a color than it would be necessarily if it was stamping on just something lighter. Okay, very cool. All right, let's do a little bit of, a little bit of zigzag, and do some fossilized amber. I think that could be fun. So I'd love to hear if, after you saw the video to make these stamps, if you decided to make any and how they turned out. I'm really having fun playing with these. That is for sure. And what's nice, this, like I said, this strip right here, even though it's on here at the same time, rip a little bit off, add it as a focal, not a focal, but an accent piece to something. It can be, it doesn't matter if it's in the same place. All right, I think we need to get a little bit more, maybe some reds in there. A little crackling campfire. And get a little bit of this daisy kind of flower. Ooh, so pretty. And I'm definitely layering things on top of each other. I'm not afraid to do that because, again, these are not, look how much these stamps hold. I love this. And it's true, there's probably other foam stamps in the world that do this. This is not just me discovering a new thing. That's for sure. I think I put a couple swirls in there. But, yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. A little bit of a shadow. I like that. Might do that with the next thing. All right, let's do this, and let's get some sort of other green that's a little bit darker than olive. Oops, let's put this away before my elbow gets in it, because that's what's going to happen. This is turning out really pretty. For my fall journal, I love it. All right, so I did the crushed olive. Do a little peel paint. Never go wrong with peel paint. It's such a pretty color. Okay. Let's get the swirl going. Now this swirl has definitely become textured since I think I mentioned during that video is there's glue on there, you can see. So it's really not going to do a perfect circle, which is fine. And we're just going to throw a little water on there and see if we can get a little bit of shadow on there. It's so pretty. I love it. Can't really see it, but there's a little shadow on there. I love it. Oh, I got left the big leaf and that. I think this deserves a little bit on here, and I think a little sepia would be good. Now, I told you guys when I was making these that I went through periods of what this was. This was the worst idea. I can't get, since this handle's on here, I can't get a great flat stamp on here to be able to get stuff on there. So I'll definitely be making this one over again, just to, because I like the stamp. I like the shape of it, but I don't like the way it holds. Okay. All right, I think I cleaned that one up pretty good. It's not double stamping. Okay, I don't think I'll put the leaf on there. I got that pretty leaf on there. So pretty. All right, so like I said, what I did is I then took this and added just some generic backgroundy kind of shapes. And maybe I'll go with, just to make it quicker, I'm going to use this. And I am going to use my VersaFine Clear because this stuff really works well with these stamps. And we're just going to, and just adding a little bit of a texture to it. Nothing too fancy. Get that, and a little bit of music. Okay, nothing fancy, but I also have like these words, and I am using the lighter color, the Morning Mist, so it's not as bold on here. Not really taking up the, just adding a little bit of color to, or a little bit of texture to the background. Okay, now I think I also pulled my tidbit stamps out, which I thought would be fun to add a bit of these little numbers and things like to it. So let's add this one. And should I try to, I saw coffee here. Add a little bit of coffee color. Oh yeah, I like that. And again, we're going to do the same number, but it doesn't matter because it's on different parts of the stamps and, or on the strips. So it's not really probably going to be in the same spot more than once. All right, I'll get rid of the numbers, and let's see what else we can put on there. Let's see, a word. How about excursion? And I think we'll do more coffee. I like the color with it. Yep. Like it. All right. All right, I could keep adding stuff left and right, but we do not need to see me doing that. I gotta know when to say when, right? Okay, so with that all done, then I will close these and get them out of the way. Oops, put coffee back. And of course, I probably got ink all over my elbow. All right, so I pulled together a couple of distressed spritzes. I've got spice marmalade in orange, and I've got peel paint in green. I have a little bit of fired brick and my lovely antique linen. So instead of spritzing these to make these too dark, whoops, I'm gonna I've shook them up already. I'm just gonna take them and add a couple little dots on here, just to add a little bit of texture, a little bit of fun. Oops, that's a big one, but that's okay. All right, and a little bit of spiced marmalade. Some lovely fall colors, like a party. Probably spraying myself here. I see some heading toward the, should really probably wear an apron. All right, and then of course, my lovely antique linen that leaves a bit of a shimmering line. And this one I'm gonna spray a little bit more. It really doesn't add a color, it just adds a beautiful, fun sheen to it. Okay, that one I will clean off. And we're gonna call this done. And I see a big glob there. When I did my other one, I did take it and flip it over to cover it. So I think I'm going to do the same thing because this is pretty well dry, so I don't think it'll transfer. And I just took a blank piece of paper. This is not blank anymore. But carefully rubbed it down. Just to get rid of some of these not duplicate colors, but some of the bigger runny colors. This is going to be actually pretty in the end too. I got antique linen all over my hands. Yeah, this is going to be so pretty. Let me see if I can pull this off without totally, whoops, without totally doing that. This one wasn't fully stuck on, so I could see how it would come off. There, I can see it a little bit better. These are going to be really pretty. Definitely. I wonder if I can pull a couple off just to show what it looks like separated. I don't want to press too much as I'm getting their stuff a little bit wet here. And probably get this one off. Oops. Rip the backing paper. All right. So now you can see them a little bit more separate, how things are cut off and half pages and swirls. And like I said, you definitely could go through and add some more, but look how pretty that is with just a little bit of flower, a little bit of words, a little bit of number. Accent on the side of a page, you take a page like this and put it on the side. How pretty that would be, right? adding it to a tag or something. I have those sheets that I have. That'd be a great size to be able to put over it to make a tag. I have so many ideas for these. Obviously, I let them dry, and it's kind of interesting too, because, and probably you can tell with my little antique linen, the colors of the ink have kind of absorbed into that antique linen, and like this looks a little bit more peach on here. So cool. And then these, I like how that stripe is in there. Kind of looks, this is the darker one that I had. I don't know where it went to. I got the lighter roll, but it started out a little bit darker. There it is. Started a little bit darker than the lighter rolls, as you can see. So it looks a little bit richer in color. So depending on what color masking tape you start with, you're going to end up with something a little bit different. And you see, since that is, like I said, been ripped off, the color is absorbing into it a little bit, which is very fun. Okay, well, I don't think I'm going to be able to play with these today because they are still very wet. So I'm thinking the next time you see me, I'll be making some fun stuff with it. So I have this set for my fall journal, and then I've got this set for the monster at the end of the book, because I used some purples and blues and pinks, which I thought would be great for that one. So yeah, so I got two sets of tapes ready to go to make some fun cards to go with these. I can't wait. Okay, well, that's going to be it for me today in my messiness. I need to go wash up, and I think it's almost time for dinner, so that is great timing. Okay, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks so much for stopping by, and as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.